Ich möchte euch mal wieder als kleiner Dolmetscher fungieren, weil das ist zum Totlachen. Wir sind hier wieder in Plymouth, in dieser berühmten Stadt, wo die Mayflower abgefahren ist, weil die Mayflower religiöse, verfolgte Menschen an Bord hatte, die in England nicht ihre Religionstätigkeit ausüben konnten. Wer sich da mehr dafür interessiert, der muss sich diese Religionsgemeinschaften anschauen in Pennsylvania und in so den umliegenden Staaten.
Hello, sir. May I ask you a question about your New World Translation, please?
Hey, Alter, kann ich dich was fragen über deine neue Weltübersetzung? Nein.
You can go onto the website jw.org and you'll see all the answers that you want.
They won't ask.
Du kannst auf unsere Webseite gehen und dort findest du alle Antworten.
But there are questions I'm asking.
Well, I don't know the answers.
Aber es gibt Fragen, die ungeklärt sind. Naja, ich weiß nicht die Antworten. Aber ich habe dich doch noch nicht mal gefragt.
I haven't asked the question yet.
That's why I'm not answering.
But you want to be keen. You want
Das ist auch der Grund, warum ich nicht antworten werde.
to learn. That's how you learn.
I'd rather you went away, please.
I'd love to want to go and please. Kann ich nicht mal wiederholen, den Scheiß. Aber er hat jetzt in so einem ekelhaften, harten, ländlichen Englisch gesagt, ich möchte gern, dass du dich verpisst, bitte. Ich weiß nicht, wie man diesen Dialekt nennt, das ist schon fast walisisch, so ländlich ist das.
Yeah. But you want to be keen. You want to learn. That's how you learn.
I'd rather you went away, please.
You would rather I went away. But First Peter.
I'm not here to talk to you.
But you'll buy a card. You'll buy a Jehovah's Witness card. Surely you're here
Ich bin nicht hier, um deine Fragen zu beantworten.
to answer.
I'm not here
Aber du stehst doch hier mit einem Trolley und man soll dich doch ansprechen.
to answer your questions. You've had enough opportunity. You've had enough people. You've been asked by the police. You've been asked by park authorities
Yeah.
not to be here. You are intimidating.
I know. It's sad,
Uh-huh.
isn't it?
Go-
I'm
please
more
go-
zealous than all the
please
Jehovah's
go
Witnesses in
away.
Plymouth put together.
I'm asking you to go away.
I'm more zealous than all the Jehovah's Witnesses in Plymouth put together. Isn't it great that
Jawohl.
we have the truth of
dein
Jehovah's
Scheiß
Word, the
zusammen, hau
Bible, and can't we discuss it, sir?
No. You've been warned by the police, and
No, I have not.
Please go away and took that camera off.
But-
I do not want to be filmed by you or recorded by you.
But you're in a public place, sir.
Please put the camera off and go away. Aber er packt seine Sachen und will abhauen.
You're promoting a religion in a public
I
place.
do not have to be filmed. You have to have my permission to film you.
I-
I do not wish. Goodbye.
I wanted to ask you about Hebrews chapter 1, verse 8.
Look on the website.
It says, God is your throne. But no other, but the Greek doesn't read that way, sir.
Er will
Can I give
das
you the
nicht
Greek?
mal hören. Der will ihm erklären, dass in der altgriechischen Übersetzung doch was ganz anderes steht in 1. Petrus so und so viel und nee, das ist doch Wahnsinn.
It actually comes from Johannes Grieber's Bible, a spiritist,
Das hat er gut
Spiritist.
gesagt. Eine Bibel kommt von Johannes Greber.
who contacted spirits in seances. Oh dear.
Und weg ist er.
Oh dear.
Alter, der ist ja schneller weg als wie... Ach, kann man gar nicht sagen. Der ist schneller weg als was. Was haben wir hier? Wieder ein paar Säugen. Das hab ich selbst noch nicht mehr gesehen. Skipton Building.
He's not calling the police before I've even arrived, is he?
his phone happened to go off just as.
Nochmal,
thought-
von vorn nochmal. Der sieht den kommen und sofort ist er am Telefon und haut ab.
He's not calling the police before I've even arrived, is he?
his phone happened to go off just as.
Sag mal, er ruft doch nicht etwa die Polizei, bevor ich euch angesprochen habe, oder?
I thought, my goodness me, if he's calling the police before I even arrive,
Doch, der ruft gerade die Polizei wegen dir.
a little bit harsh, even for the Plymouth Jehovah's Witnesses. Peter, I was looking today, this morning, I've got a New Testament, 8 volumes of the New Testament in one book, one very thick book. It's 3,000 pages. King James, NIV, New Living Translation, ESV, Jerusalem. I can't remember all the versions. There's 8 of them. All of them read differently to the New World Translation at Hebrews chapter 1, verse 8. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. That's God the Father speaking to the Son. And he addresses the Son. He says, thy throne, O God, he calls the Son God, is forever and ever.
Yep.
Yeah. Now the New World Translation says, God is your throne. And I can't find any other translations apart from the New World Translation which reads that way. How do you explain that? You don't have any Greek or Hebrew scholars.
Das ist eine sehr gute Frage. Er hat ihn gerade damit konfrontiert, dass er sich über 20 verschiedene Bibelübersetzungen angeguckt hat, über dieses 1. Petrus-Dings, und nirgendwo steht, dass Jehova dein Thron wäre. Wie erklärst du dir das, dass so eine Übersetzung in deiner Bibel steht?
Society, and there's no educated people with doctorates in Greek or Hebrew. You've never had one in 140 years. So why does it read differently to all the other Bibles and say, God is your throne? God's not the throne. Jesus isn't a piece of wood, a chair made of wood or metal. The Father's addressing the Son in Hebrews chapter 1, verse 8, and he says, thy throne, O God, is forever. The Son is God. I interrupted you, sorry, Peter.
Well, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to say it, and I'd have to. I always
Was ist
research
los
things.
mit dir? Du scheiß Alter.
Well, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to say it, and I'd have to. I always research things when.
Der sagt, ich muss dir diese Frage nicht beantworten, so ungefähr. Was für ein scheiß Ältester. Solche Älteste gefallen mir. Das sind feige Dreckschweine. Kaum kriegen die eine Frage gestellt, wissen die nicht, was die antworten sollen.
You bring things up,
Yeah.
but you know my response. Robert, it's the same as
Hebrews chapter 1.
I'm not
I
going
might
to
have more luck with this man. He looks extremely enthusiastic. One of Brother Flodine's more enthusiastic elders. He's an elder?
Steve is an elder.
Yeah, he's an elder. What's his name?
Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, but
I'll have a word with him.
my response is the same as him. It's.
Well, I'll tell you why the New World Translation, 1950 edition, to the current revised 2013 edition, all mistranslate that verse, not in accordance with the Greek text. They're following the Bible of Johannes Gruber. Gruber's New Testament was one of the books that was the basis of the New World Translation. And Gruber was a Catholic priest who was defrocked for Spiritism. He got involved with Ouija boards, and he spoke to spirits, and he asked the spirits to translate the Bible for him in these Ouija board sessions, and the spirits happily did so, and they translated the whole of the New Testament. It's the only New Testament translated by spirits using Ouija boards, Johannes Gruber's Bible. And from the 1950s, the mid-50s, until the mid-70s, a period of over 20 years, the Watchtower approvingly quoted of Johannes Gruber, saying what a great translation it was, what a good work Johannes Gruber's Bible was. They even quoted approvingly in the 1950s of Johannes Gruber's other book, Communication with the Spirit World of God, where he talked about having seances and using Ouija boards and asking the spirits he contracted in the Ouija boards to translate the Bible for him. And the Watchtower approved of that in the 1950s. When I make this into a video...
This fucking elder is only wasting your time. He's waiting that the police arrive. He is not really interested in listening.
It mentions John S. Thompson. And John S. Thompson lived about 100 years before Gruber. He was the Gruber of the 19th century, and he contacted spirits, and the spirits told him...
Blue Edition, Kingdom Interlineare Translation. Dass ich sowas noch nicht mal gehört habe. Okay, müssen jetzt das nochmal zurück. Was erzählt er ihm da noch alles?
Was the Word was with God, and the Word was a God. There's only 3 Bibles that read that way before the New World Translation. Do you know which ones they are?
No, off the top of my head.
Well, Gruber's Bible, written in the 1930s. Then there was another one. If you look at your blue interlinear, and you go to, I think it's Appendix 2, it mentions John S. Thompson. And John S. Thompson lived about 100 years before Greber. He was the Greber of the 19th century, and he contacted spirits, and the spirits told him, we're going to help you with your Bible translation. He didn't use a Ouija board like Greber, and his version also says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was a God. So there's two Bibles produced by spirits in seances, and they both read a God, and they were both the basis of the New World Translation of John 1:1. There's a third Bible written by a bishop. I forget his name. Was it Newcomb? It's mentioned in the Watchtower Blue Interlinear Appendix. And he translated John 1:1 as the other Bibles do, the real Bibles. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was a God. The Word was God. Okay? But then when he died, the plates for his... the Word was God.
And a God was the Word und ein Gott war das Wort. Ach du Scheiße. Und das Wort war was unendlich. Was haben die für eine Scheiße gemacht nach seinem Tod? Ist ja Wahnsinn.
Okay? But then when he died, the plates for his book were bought by a Unitarian, and that Unitarian reprinted that Bible with one change at John 1:1. Instead of correctly reading the Word was God, he changed that to the Word was a God. I can't remember the Archbishop's name. It could be Newcomb. It was about 1800, 1810, 1820, somewhere around there. And the Watchtower always quotes the reprinted Bible. Was it Barrington? It was a bishop anyway. But I mean, I'm horrified at this, that the Watchtower makes use of people who've translated the Bible in seances, like Johannes Greber. Doesn't that shock you? Steve, does it shock you that the Watchtower has made use of spiritists? There was this German spiritist, he was a Catholic priest called Johannes Greber. He was defrocked for contacting spirits. He used Ouija boards, and he spoke to the spirits he contacted via these Ouija boards. And the spirit said, the Bible's mistranslated, let's translate the New Testament. And so he did that with the help of the spirits he contracted with these Ouija boards. And the spirits, one of the first things they told him was, John 1:1 is mistranslated. It doesn't read the Word was God. These lying demon spirits, they said, you've got to translate it, the Word was a God.
I think you know our answer. We're not going to get involved in conversation.
Is that because you don't care?
No, not at all.
But surely 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 15 says you're going to earnestly contend for the faith, Peter. You're going to zealously and earnestly contend for the faith that was once delivered to the saints, because you've got zeal and passion for Jehovah God. You want to obey Jehovah God. If Greber's Bible was the basis of the New World Translation, and John S. Thompson, now you need to go to the Appendix 2 of the Blue Interlinear, which quotes various Bible translations which mistranslate the Bible as the Word was a God, and you find John S. Thompson is there. He was another spiritist like Johannes Greber. He used spirits.
Okay, ich habe schon die Antwort gefunden. Also John S. Thompson war auch ein Spiritist. Na, meine Fresse, Bibel. Spiritist, aber wo genau steht das jetzt noch auf schwarz auf weiß oder sowas? Niederland, Bible, Jehovas Zeugenreligion oder Gimpelfunk. Da, hier hat man was bei Gimpelfunk Spiritist. Warum kannst du das nicht öffnen? Was ist denn los? Der Spiritist John Thompson Greber Cover-Up. Ist das auch ein Spiritist? Weil leck mich doch am Arsch. Nee, ich sehe es nicht mehr. Witnesses of Jehovah. Wirklich? So ein Buch gibt's auch? Ah, das Buch kenne ich sogar. Natürlich, dieses Buch. Das ist das Cover. Das ist ein sehr gutes Buch. Das ist ein sehr gutes Buch. So, und hier steht jetzt wirklich Spiritist, ja? Das ist jetzt wirklich wahr. Das kann ich hier finden. Spiritist. Sag mal her. Scheiße. Verklickt irgendwie. Da muss ich es reinschreiben. Hier auf der linken Seite. Spiritist. Suchen. Sag mal her. Thompson, Baltimore, Thompson. Ich würde jetzt noch gerne das Wort Spiritist sehen. Auf jeden Fall ist das sehr interessant, dass man sich Spiritisten bedient hat. Das gefällt mir. So muss die einzig wahre Religion der Zeugen Jehovas sein. Einfach sich mit dem Spiritismus ordnungsgemäß zu befassen.
To translate the Bible. I mean, that's appalling that the Watchtower quotes people who were knowing spiritists to back up your translation, which isn't really a translation because you don't have any scholars. You've never had one scholar with a PhD in Greek or a PhD in Hebrew. You've got no Bible experts. You've just got the octopope at Warwick. You know, 8 men, some sort of weird 8-limbed octopope now that Kenneth Cook's been added to the...
Ich frage mich, was diese 2 Hundsöhne gerade innerlich treiben. Haben die gerade Stoßgebete oder wissen die das alles schon, was er denen erzählt und tun gelangweilt oder tun nur so interessant oder stehen die da und denken sich, hoffentlich kommt gleich die Polizei, bitte kommt gleich die Polizei, bitte Polizei, bitte Polizei, bitte, bitte Polizei, Polizei, bitte komm, verhaftet diesen blöden, dreckigen Scheißabtrünnigen, der da vor uns redet, bitte liebe Polizei, komm und verklagt diesen Scheiß Abtrünnigen. Weil ich kenne zufällig einen Ältesten, der genau so rumheult. Ah, ja.
To the bunch. Why does the Watchtower for 20 years from the mid-50s quote Johannes Grieber approvingly? Steve, why does the word Who Is He, a book released in the 1960s, on page 5, you look at the footnotes, it quotes Johannes Grieber approvingly. Why does the aid book twice quote Johannes Grieber? I can't remember the page numbers. I think one could be 1669, but I can't quite remember. It's hard to hold all these facts in my head at the same time.
You know my response, Rob. It's like you said,
but if you love Jehovah God, you're going to say, I'm going to separate from Spiritism. I'm going to separate from Bibles that are made by people who contacted spirits. And the contents of those Bibles, such as Hebrews chapter 1 verse 8, are lies produced by these demon spirits that Johannes Grieber contacted and seanced and put into his Grieber Bible of the 1930s, which was the basis of the New World Translation. The only 2 Bibles which misread God is your throne is the New World Translation and the Grieber Bible at Hebrews chapter 1 verse 8. It's simply a mistranslation, and I do feel, Steve, that yourself and Peter, if you love God and you honour God and you serve God, you love Jehovah with all your heart, your mind, your soul and strength, you're passionate to serve Jehovah God. You're going to do the will of Jehovah God, and you're going to say, I'm going to separate myself and my family from...
Okay, das ist schon langweilig geworden, sorry. Ich will jetzt die nächste Unterhaltung anschauen. Ach, jetzt hat er die verlassen.
Alright, bye. Stand for Jehovah God. Alright, bye, Steve.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Gott, wie erleichtert und wie glücklich die jetzt aussehen. Finally he is gone. The apostate is gone. Mein Gott, ich wäre wirklich weggegangen als Ältester. Also, ich verstehe es nicht. I don't understand this. Mal gucken. Na, ihr Pärchen?
Hello, sir. Pleased to meet you. How are you?
You've met us before, and we've asked you not to bother.
I know, because you can't answer any of my questions about the Watchtower Society. I know it better than you do.
I don't
know
want
the
to
history
engage
better
in
than
your
you do.
conversation. So thank you for your interest, but I don't give permission to be recorded. I consider what you're doing harassment. I prefer it if you just leave us.
Kind of embarrassing. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 15. Jehovah God tells you to give to everyone who asks of you an answer for the hope that you have in you. I guess you have no hope in you.
We don't argue with people, we try and help them.
Right, could you help me with Hebrews chapter 1 verse 8?
Sincere people, but
Yeah.
you're not
But
sincere.
you're not sincere, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but it's just not.
What's not sincere about me? I know the Bible too well, I've read it too many times.
I think if you're genuinely sincere, you wouldn't be recording all these conversations.
Well, I'm recording it for my own protection, because if you report me to the police and this goes to court, then I can show in court that I haven't called you sir, ma'am, I'm polite, and I'm simply asking you questions about your religion, which you can't answer, because Jehovah's Witnesses...
Ist sehr intelligent. Die sagen zu ihm, wir haben dir mehrmals mitgeteilt, wir möchten gerne nicht gefilmt werden, du filmst uns trotzdem und lauter so ein Scheiß. Und er sagt, naja, ihr steht hier in der Öffentlichkeit und wisst ihr, wenn ihr mich bei den Bullen anzeigt und wenn ich vor Gericht geladen werde, kann ich diese Filmdatei auspacken und einfach dem Richter zeigen, dass ich simple, einfache religiöse Fragen gestellt habe, die ihr nicht in der Lage gewesen wart, mir zu beantworten. Der hat tatsächlich recht. Der hat auf jeden Fall recht. Auf jeden Fall hat er recht. Also ich finde, das Gericht sollte diese tolle Nachricht, dieses tolle Video bekommen, wo mich ein toller Ältester zurückgerufen hat und zu mir gesagt hat, du bist doch in Behandlung, du psychisch Kranker. Und nicht seinen verfickten Scheiß Drecksnamen sagen wollte, der jetzt auf jeder verfickten Anzeige, die er stellt, steht. Ja, das Telefonat sollte tatsächlich da bei Gericht auftauchen. Ist doch mir scheißegal, ob das illegal ist. Das Verhalten dieses Ältesten sollte öffentlich sein. Öffentlich in einem Gerichtssaal vorgespielt werden. Und dann möchte ich in seine grinsende Fresse schauen, ob die grinsende Fresse immer noch grinst. Oder ob sich die grinsende Fresse verzogen hat.
Around the world, you're being filmed at your carts by people who are putting the videos on YouTube, and they're demonstrating that you simply don't know your Bible, you don't know Watchtower history.
We're just cautious about who we talk to because people are also not
Sorry.
kind to us, but we don't want to talk about it anymore.
Wir möchten nicht mit dir reden. Und er hat denen ganz klar gesagt, dass ich unterhalte mich hier über Dinge, über eure Religion, die ihr anscheinend nicht wisst und die ihr nicht zur Kenntnis nimmt und über die ihr nicht nachdenkt. Das sind alles religiöse Fragen. Ich bin sehr freundlich zu euch.
Friends have spoken to you lots
They
of
haven't.
times.
They haven't. They always avoid talking to me. They
But
say
do
we won't
now,
talk to you.
because now they realise what's
So,
actually going on.
we know that prior to you approaching us on the carts, people have spoken to you one-to-one. So, I'm sorry,
But they
but we
didn't
don't
have
want
any
to waste
answers
any...
for my cart, and I'm on my way.
Ich möchte das überspringen.
Okay,
Einfach
thank you,
weil
bye.
das ein scheiß Ehepaar ist. So, Pause zurück. What do the scriptures say about survival after death? 1955. Was steht denn da, Leute? Was steht hier genau? It comes no surprise, as no surprise that one Johannes Greber, a former Catholic clergyman, has become citizen purpose. Ja, und weiter? Was geht's hier? Watchtower, 15. Februar 56. Triumph over wicked spirit forces. Says Johannes Greber introduction, his translation of the New Testament, copyrighted in 1937. Okay? Nochmal 1956. Hier steht wieder Johannes Greber, Ex-Priester Johannes Greber, believes, oh mein Gott. Das ist über diese tolle Bibelübersetzung. Das, was mich jetzt nur schockiert hat, ist, dass es noch einen zweiten Idioten gab, der gesagt hat, das Wort war ein Gott. So, okay, was gibt's sonst noch zu sagen? 83. Questions from readers, from readers. God is your throne forever. Was ist das denn? Ach so, das ist das Neueste. Ach, das ist Hebräer 1, Vers 8. Und nicht 1. Petrus. Upsalala. Upsalala. God is your throne forever. Kommunikation mit Spiritismus und der anderen Welt, ja. Und weiter? Was steht denn jetzt hier? Sag mir jetzt bloß nicht, hier steht jetzt, dass Gott mein Thron ist. Please don't tell me there is written that God is my throne forever. Please not. Please not. Seite 18. Okay. Steht jetzt dann wirklich, Gott ist mein Thron forever oder sowas? Ich sehe es hier echt nicht. Bitte sag mir nicht, dass hier steht, Gott ist mein Thron forever. Bitte nicht. Sonst müssen wir uns verbuddeln gehen. Na gut, ich habe ja diese neue Weltübersetzung noch nicht. Ich will den Dreck auch gar nicht haben. Bitte ja nicht an meine Fanpostadresse schicken oder so. Sonst schicke ich euch den Scheißdreck unfrei zurück. Das meine ich ernst. Aber erst nachdem ich das angezündet habe. Ihr bekommt also Asche. Okay, gut. Ich sehe hier keinen Thron forever. Ich sehe hier keinen Thron forever. Gut, Leute, ich hoffe, euch hat's gefallen oder auch nicht. Mir wurscht. Vergisst nicht, dem guten Menschen einen Daumen hoch zu geben. Denn der geile Mann ist einfach nur geil. Das müsst ihr zugeben. Er ist einfach nur geil.